All right, guys, everyone is obsessed with NVIDIA. We know that. There was so much leverage in NVIDIA, and that's part of the reason the stock's falling out of bed too. And institutions are selling as well. Remember the last hour of trading. If you look, it's really important to do that because remember, institutional buying, the volume is much bigger, guys, when they're buying and selling versus retail traders. And that makes sense because institutions, right, are putting in billions of dollars, whereas retail investors or traders are not, okay? So even though there's good volume in the morning, with retail traders who typically trade then, the biggest volume by far comes the last hour, especially the last 30 minutes of trading in the day. So if you just watch that, guys, the last 30 minutes of the day and you see some buying on a stock, you're considering buying, that's a good sign if institutions are behind it, okay? But this is a time now where you can start looking at other names, yippee, right? Instead of just NVIDIA every day, right? Again, people were obsessed with it. And now it's time to look elsewhere. And I've been giving you names, AI software names, because these companies are going to benefit from the price of AI going down potentially in the future. It's only a matter of time before it does, in my opinion. After DeepSeek, that just started the whole thing. And we've heard of Alibaba saying, oh, they have something just like DeepSeek. And we're going to hear more and more coming out of China. So it's going to be the AI war, US versus China, guys. So be ready for it, okay? But like I said, you can stick to stocks that are not affected by the tariffs. Like, for example, apparel stocks right now will most likely be affected by the tariffs. So you probably want to stay away from those. So you can, if you're in any of those names, you'll probably see that why it sold off, okay, on Friday. And so those are names maybe you want to lock in profits. Again, totally up to you. If you're short-term trading it, you probably want to lock it in. But if you're long-term, you have to handle, obviously, the dips along the way. But just want to point out that sector could struggle, apparel, because those are affected by tariffs. So you just want to avoid, like I said, anything that has exposure to the tariffs. And then you can still find some good trades, guys, okay? And anytime you see insider buying with a company, that's always good. I got a question on that. If a director's buying anyone, especially if it's a big purchase, that's going to help deciding on to buy a stock, okay? If you see that. Also, fresh positive news, obviously, there's earnings reports coming out, obviously. Remember, we got Palantir on Monday. And that one, guys, if they miss on anything, it's obviously going to come way back down. So this is one that could either go to $100 a share if they have a solid report again and show some more government contracts, which they should. And the stock could easily go up to $100 in the near term. But if they miss, it could easily go in the 50s, guys. So be ready for a big swing one way or the other with that, all right? And then on Tuesday, we got AMD's earnings. Now, I put out a video saying Intel, I believe, is, one that could bounce back because made in America. AMD's in that boat too, where they could benefit as well. And I like that one as well. The expectations are lower now. And I think this report, they'll show better free cash flow. One of the reasons I remember it sold off the last report is their free cash flow took a big hit, and that was because of an acquisition. So as long as they can beat on their numbers and at least raise guidance by a little bit, usually they do slightly beat, slightly raise. That would be ideal for the stock to bounce. Even if guidance came in line with expectations, and they showed stronger free cash flow, that would help the stock to bounce. So I like the risk reward setup. Again, I only go into earnings with small positions, as you know, but those are a couple earnings to watch next week as well with Palantir and AMD.